The Marshall Scholarship is a prestigious UK government-funded program that enables outstanding US citizens to pursue postgraduate study in the UK. Established in 1953 as a token of gratitude from the British people for the Marshall Plan, the scholarship works in partnership with eligible US endorsing institutions during the application and selection process to select academically excellent future leaders with demonstrable leadership potential and the ability to act as ambassadors between the United States and the United Kingdom. Fellowship advisors at participating institutions are asked to review and endorse applications from their institution on the Applicant Scholar Alumni Management System, otherwise known as ASAMS. In this video, we'll take you through how to use the system as a fellowship advisor. If you are a new advisor, the first step is to register your institution with the program or notify the program that your institution's details require updating. To do this, please contact institution support at marshallscholarship.org. Once an account has been created in your name, you will receive an email from ASAMS inviting you to register your account. The first step is to set a password and 3 security prompt answers. Next, scan the QR code shown on the screen with your preferred authenticator app. This will provide you with a 6-digit refreshing code that you can input on the screen. Once completed, your account will be fully set up. Make sure to take note of the one-time recovery code provided to you. This can be used if you lose access to your authenticator and need to reset your password. When you first access your account, you will load onto your advisor dashboard. From this page, you can see a summary of all applications that have been started under your endorsing institution. The table gives details on the applicant, their status, relevant deadlines, when the application was last updated, and the U.S. regional consulate that they wish to be submitted to. The status field on this page gives indications of how far the application has progressed through the process. Applications will appear in your dashboard table under the status in draft once they have registered under your endorsing institution, completed the eligibility questionnaire, filled out their personal details task, and completed the share application with my advisor prompt. Once an applicant has submitted all application tasks and submitted their application for review, it will appear under the status ready to review. To review application details, select the hyperlink on the applicant's name. Please note, applications that have been submitted for review are locked and cannot be edited by the applicant unless you return it to them for revision. The application review page provides a detailed and live summary of the application responses submitted by the applicant. It can be used to monitor applicant progress, download application PDFs, manage recommenders and recommendation letters, and append endorsement letters. This page is also where completed applications are submitted to the Marshall Aid Commemoration Commission for review. It contains several tabs where you can review different sections of the application form. Responses submitted by the applicant will update in real time. 2 key sections to be aware of are the Recommender Details tab. In this tab, you can monitor the submission of recommendation letters by the applicant's nominated recommenders. You can carry out the following actions here: remove submitted letters of recommendation, change nominated recommenders, send recommendation request links to nominated recommenders, and submit recommendation letters on behalf of recommenders. Nominated recommenders will receive an email from ASAMS with an upload link for submitting their recommendation letters. Recommenders can provide their letters up until the applicant deadline in the time zone of your institution. After this deadline, you can still submit recommendation letters on behalf of recommenders up until the institution deadline. The Endorsement Letter tab. In this tab, you can update the letter of endorsement form. The form asks questions about the applicant's relative standing in their class, the details of the endorser, usually the college dean or principal, and has an upload link for the endorsement letter. Applications that have been submitted for review can be returned to applicants by selecting the Return Application to Applicant with Feedback option. You will be asked to provide a short feedback note, which will be provided to the applicant in an email. The applicant will then be asked to log back into their account to make the necessary amendments before resubmitting their application for review. Please note, all applications, including those returned with feedback, must be submitted for review by the applicant deadline. Once the application has 3 submitted letters of recommendation and an appended endorsement letter, it can be submitted to the Marshall Aid Commemoration Commission, which is the final step in the application process. Please note, this step is final. Once this is completed, the applicant will be notified that their application has been endorsed and submitted on their behalf. The status of the application on the dashboard will then update to endorsed. You can continue to monitor the progress of your applicants throughout the selection period. The status field on the dashboard will continue to update as applicants are selected for interview and confirmed as finalists. The Marshall Scholarship has 2 key deadlines to observe as part of the application process. The first is referred to as the applicant deadline. This is the deadline for all applicants to have submitted their completed applications to their endorsing institution for review. This includes any applications that have been returned by advisors with feedback. Applications that are not submitted for review by this deadline cannot be taken forward for endorsement. This deadline also applies to nominated recommenders for submitting their recommendation letters. The date of the deadline updates each cycle and is listed on ASAMS. The deadline will come into effect at 5 p.m. on the date specified in the time zone of your institution. The second deadline is referred to as the institution deadline. This is the deadline for all fellowship advisors to review applications and append endorsement letters before submitting applications to the Marshall Aid Commemoration Commission. Only applications that are completed with 3 recommendation letters and an endorsement letter can be submitted to the Commission. Applications that are not submitted by this deadline will not be taken forward for consideration by the regional selection committees. The date of the deadline updates each cycle and is listed on ASAMS. The deadline will come into effect at 5 p.m. on the date specified in the time zone of your institution. If you experience any technical difficulties during the application process, please contact institution support at marshallscholarship.org. We remain grateful for your continued support of the Marshall Scholarship Program and wish you every success with your applications.